I mean, I feel pretty relaxed. It's really okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, you can.
Yeah. I mean,
It's Alison Luterman's book, Hard Listening, that we'll be presenting, or that Alison will be reading from, like that. And
Great.
then Leslie Absher will engage her in conversation for the second half of the program, right? Is that the
yeah.
plan?
So I'll be reading first.
Yeah.
Yes.
I
And you want me?
assumed, but I don't know. You can do it any way you want.
Um, I think we kind of mingled it before
Okay.
with in the conversation and the reading. So
So we
I
can
think
start in
yeah,
conversation.
we start in conversation and kind of insert
Okay.
poems, and just people. There's this tiny audience, and if you want to request a poem or pipe up and say something, I like it to be a conversation.
Already, I love music in the basement.
Oh,
Or I can't remember quite.
music we make in the basement. Yeah, yeah. I'm happy to read that one if you want. Yeah.
Even the word obstacle
Is an oh,
Yeah,
that's
that's a
not
great
in. Yeah,
one.
that's a good poem. It's not in this book, but
That's
yeah.
a great one.
for so many people.
Yes, I know. I know. That's a beloved one.
Yeah,
That
that's a
was in
great
the
one.
last book, I think.
Well,
yeah.
also, and I love that Access Road.
Access Road. Yeah. Yeah.
That
Maybe
leads
I'll do that one
That's
first.
a really good. It's sort of a broad.
Yeah. Maybe
Yeah.
that'll be the opening poem. Yeah.
Okay.
You'll help us shape this reading.
Yeah.
It'll be a conversation. Yeah.
So I know we're both delighted to be here. I'm delighted to be here. My name is Leslie Absher. I'm an author and personal essay writer. My memoir, Spy Daughter, Queer Girl, came out 3 years ago with L'Etat Books. And I write regularly journalism for Ms. Magazine, online and in print. So that's me. Alison Luterman is a dear friend of mine and fellow Oaklander. We've gone on many walks together where we talk about life and politics and childhoods and just kind of anything that rambles out of our mouths. Out of our mouths. So I'm always so like thrilled to be in conversation with you and to celebrate this book. Alison, for those of you who may not know, she grew up in Lexington, Massachusetts. She was not born there. She was born in Pennsylvania. I was corrected earlier on the BART over. You say I was born in Massachusetts, but I wasn't. Okay, I got it. The baby of 4 children.
No, I'm the
Oh,
oldest.
the oldest.
Get it
Yeah,
straight.
now you're going like, I don't even know if she knows her. The oldest of 4. That does make more sense.
Yeah.
More bossy.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is a prime part of my
Yeah.
personality, being the oldest. Yeah.
So you've published 5 books of poetry. This is your 5th.
Right.
A collection of personal essays, Feral City, also. You've been a poet in the schools in California.
For a million years.
You
yeah.
teach at Writing Salon. You teach memoir writing,
Right.
personal essays.
Right.
You also teach privately,
right.
writing coach privately. You went to Emerson College in Boston, also UMass Amherst. You did a stint with Vista in Miami, working with Haitian refugees.
Yep.
You're an Oaklander for 35 years.
Yeah. Proud Oaklander.
Yeah. A lot of your poems come from the heart of Oakland, from the heart of your neighborhood.
Yeah.
So this collection is a lot about singing. Hard Listening by Wild House is a lot about singing, and it pays homage to these wonderful women singers, these divas, these powerhouse women. But it also pays homage to yourself, to your journey becoming a singer, and also to, I think, the voice of our times. I mean, I feel like your poetry increasingly, especially this year, you've written so many sort of politically vocal, you've captured the moment politically and personally. So I feel like you really are a poet for our times right now.
Thanks,
So anyway, I couldn't be happier to celebrate this 5th book, Hard Listening. So did you want to start with read a poem for us?
Yeah, let's start with Access Road. That seems like a good one to start with. And thank you for that beautiful introduction. And yeah, this has been an intense year. I don't have to tell anybody why. And I feel grateful to have the medium of poetry and to have a voice and a little bit of a platform in these times because, yeah, it's necessary. So this is called Access Road. I don't know if other people feel like there's a life running alongside their so-called real life, like an access road runs along the main highway. It's funkier, lonelier. You didn't expect to find yourself on this one-lane frontage path. You kept thinking you'd get on the freeway any minute now, where you fondly imagined yourself doing 80, 90, hurtling down the untrammeled autobahn of free will. That was the life you thought would be yours when you were young, and everything seemed laid out as at a picnic with red gingham tablecloths. But in your fantasies, you neglected to factor in the ants crawling up your legs, the way they tickle and sting, or the spilled juice and crumbled potato chips, and your beautiful mother, young again and strong, yet anxious and discontent amid all that messy beauty. Because she, too, was always calibrating how reality didn't measure up to the story. So you've inherited her dilemma. What else is new? And evening is drawing nigh, and you are still on that access road, which, as it turns out, is going to the same place the main road was headed all along. So I think if you're of a certain age, you understand the poem. Yeah. And as Leslie said, you know, these times they've inspired me. I mean, I'm not happy about what's going on politically by a long shot, but I do feel like out of all this rubble, we are building something. We can't see it quite yet, but something is happening. A lot of things are happening, and hopefully, I hope that they will flower in the next years to come, and that we'll see a big change. We can hope. So this is called At Albany Bulb with Elaine, and she's another good friend that I take walks with, and she has these dogs that I'm crazy about. You know, and like with all my friends, and I'm sure this is true for you with your friends, we've talked a lot about the political stuff, and sometimes we have to pull ourselves out of that dark hole and talk about other stuff. So this is about that. At Albany Bulb with Elaine. Side by side on a log by the bay, sunlight, unleashed dogs, prancing through surf, almost exploding out of their skins with perfect happiness. Dogs who don't know about fired park rangers or canceled health research or tariff wars or the suicide hotline for veterans getting defunded, or. We've listed horror upon horror to each other for weeks now, and it does no good. So instead, I tell her how I held a 2-day-old baby in my arms, inhaling him like a fresh-baked loaf of bread, then watched as a sneeze erupted through his body like a tiny volcano. It was the look of pure astonishment on his face, as if he were Adam in the Garden of Eden making his debut at Chew, as if it were the first sneeze that ever blew that got me. She tells me how her dog once farted so loudly he startled himself and fell off the bed where he'd been lolling, and then the two of us start to laugh so hard we almost fall off our own log. And this is our resistance for today, remembering original innocence. And they can't take it away from us, though they ban our very existence, though they slash our rights to ribbons, we will have our mirth and our birthright gladness. Long after every unsold Tesla has been vaporized and Earth has closed over even the names of these temporary tyrants, somewhere, some women like us will be sitting side by side facing the water, telling human stories and laughing still.
Nice.
So, yeah, thank you. Wow, that was nice. Come on in.
Hi.
Nice to see you.
Welcome.
Welcome.
I was going to say something, just
Yeah.
that I feel like your poems, in all your books, but especially this one, there is this kind of a dialogue between personal moments, personal joy, friendships,
Right.
being outside, that kind of resistance. I'm here. I'm going to, just like you say, to have that laugh, to be in your place of gratitude. And then there's the work of making art about the darkness,
Right.
And I'm just wondering, like, how do those things work together? Because it just seems like it falls perfectly in place in your books. It's like you're going back and
Sweet.
forth in your books.
Yeah, thank you. And I mean, they're both coexisting in our lives right now, right? I mean, we're troubled by what's going on, but we're also still seeing our friends and cooking good meals and enjoying, our neighborhoods. I mean, for me, there's been a heightened sense of the fragility of the things I love, and a sense of, it's sort of like when something you don't know what you got till it's gone, and you don't know what you got till it's threatened. So even the ordinary pleasures of just like walking around our neighborhood, which is very multicultural, and saying hi to a bunch of people who don't speak English, and and are living their lives, it's really pleasurable to me to live in our neighborhood. And I feel that now that I feel like it's under threat, I appreciate it in a different way. And same with, I appreciate that I can still sit with a friend and talk openly. And I mean, that may not always be true. And it hasn't always been true for people,
Right. In history, yeah.
And so, yeah, just like death kind of sharpens your appreciation for life, I think what we're going through now sharpens my appreciation for the freedoms that I have enjoyed, even knowing that they're very fragile.
Yeah, and I think your poems celebrate in the midst of, I think that's what I wanted to say more, celebrate in the midst of difficulty, like you say, slashing of rights to ribbons, but there's a celebration that is always happening in the midst of, your neighborhood, in the midst of something that you notice, that you celebrate the moments. And I just think that's always so powerful. Did you want to read another?
I can, but I think I just want to also say that we're in, the administration is trying to dehumanize whole groups of people. And I think one of the things poetry can do is rehumanize us to ourselves. And I want to elevate the people in my life, especially those that have been marginalized or are targeted right now. But yeah, I'm happy to. I mean, all the poems kind of touch on that in some way or another.
Celebrate as you march.
Yeah,
That's kind of what your poems are.
Well, Emma Goldman said, "If I
me.
can't dance, I don't want to be at your revolution."
Right.
Something like that.
Yeah.
So we got to dance and we got to sing and we got to. So I think I'll read the music we make in the basement. Did you remember what page it was on? The person that liked that one.
It was sort of in the middle.
Oh, that helps. Thanks. Yeah, that's.
I can find it if you.
Yeah, there's a lot of poems about singing in this book, as Leslie mentioned, because I have been on this I hate the word journey, but I've been on quest
to learn to sing in your 60s.
Yes, and I've been getting, still working on it, still getting better. It's a work in progress. It's, the more, here it is. The more I learn about singing, the more, it seems like it should be easier than it is, but actually the more you know about it, the more you understand how many different elements go into it. And my husband is a trained musician, and he has really good ears. He's like musicians do. They can really hear the nuances of when you're on key and when you're a little bit off key, in a way that I can't always. So we've been on our own special process of learning how to make music together without killing each other. And this is music we make in the basement. You ask if I can sing the 4-note bass line over and over, and I do. I'm proud of how low I can go these days, now that age has deepened my girlish soprano into the dark earth. And then I hear you, softly at first, singing high above me in fluted falsetto, and it's thrilling because we always laugh about your 5-note range, but this is a treble surprise you've pulled out of the ether. I keep up the low thrum as instructed. Perhaps I have become an insect, a beetle or a grasshopper, or maybe I'm making the sound trees make in the privacy of the forest, their deep wooden mating calls. Years ago, we tried and failed to harmonize, but here we are now. I've learned how to anchor myself to the beat, you to let go and soar. Back in the day, my friends and I would joke that a deep, resonant bass could shiver our lady parts. Barry White, we'd moan, giggling and mock fainting. And it's true. I feel that gentle growl vibrate my own pelvic bowl. But tonight, your clear soprano notes are what's doing it to me, baby. So go ahead. You be the high flyer. I'll hold down the root. Just like this, for as long as we want. And while we're on the topic of singing, I've been struggling a lot with this issue of pure tone. I don't know if anybody's a singer in the audience, but there's like pure tone is where you're not wobbling. You're just like, well, not even, there's a vibrato there a little bit. And vibrato is like, like Joan Baez has a ton of vibrato. Vibrato can be gorgeous, but you have to like control it when it's otherwise it's just all over the place, and mine was all over the place. So I've been working on that for a couple of years. This is called My Vibrato. My singing teacher says uncontrolled vibrato is insecurity wearing a frilly blouse. Like the upspeak of a nervous student, peppering everything she says with kind of and you know. He says, commit to each note like you mean it. And I agree. I want to make a pure tone without apology or wavering or bleating like a nanny goat. But oh, as I ascend past G and then A into the attic of my upper register, I feel things begin to throb, and not in a good way. Here comes my vibrato, like a teetering pile of red jello or a drunken ex-girlfriend at the wedding, smeared lipstick and too much perfume. And yes, I'm embarrassed to be wobbling around like a little girl wearing her mother's high heels. But doesn't everything on earth vibrate with a mortal shudder? Candle flickers, moonlight shivers the pond, and even long-dead stars pulsate in their inky firmament. It's only the angels who do not sweat or bleed, whose pudenda are smooth as Barbie dolls, whom you'll find singing hosannas forever, each note steady as a laser beam, never trembling or flinching. So, yeah, that's the singing journey part of things.
Can you say a little bit more about that quest to
That
become a
quest.
singer and where it came from?
Yeah. I mean, I had started, I always loved singing, but singing didn't love me. I felt like I wasn't, I didn't have that good of an ability to tell if I was on key or off. And I'd been traumatized when I was young by being told I was off key, and, you're putting other people off key. And I just didn't know, I really couldn't hear it. And so it's been a really long journey to train my ear. And there is such a thing as ear training, and you can get better. And I was surprised. It's kind of brain training in a way, because it's not just your ear, it's how you interpret what you're hearing and how you refine it, and then how you refine what's coming out of your mouth. It's been this huge.
And you always wanted to sing,
And I
right?
did.
Like it got crushed.
It got crushed when I was a kid, but I didn't. Then I was like singing in choruses that didn't require an audition, like the La Peña chorus for a number of years, and Jewish Women's Chorus, and I would sing in choruses. And if I had a strong singer next to me who was like singing my note in my ear, I was fine. But then the pandemic happened, and no choruses, nothing. We're in our house with our partner, if we have one, and my partner's a musician. So we started making music together, and it was not smooth sailing.
I remember hearing about some of that.
Yes.
I think it's so brave, though. You were a beginner in your 60s,
Right.
living,
Yeah.
married to someone who's already arrived
Yeah.
at
He had a degree in music. Yeah.
and is excellent.
Yeah, he's excellent. And so he was like, yeah, we were at vastly different levels. And then I don't know, he just kind of kicking and screaming. We had massive fights. I mean, there were slammed doors, there were tears, there were, insults. But like I did get better, and he did help me. And then I got a singing teacher on Zoom who I've been working with for a couple of years, who's actually a teacher. It's like having your spouse teach you how to drive, not recommended, having your spouse tell you that you're flat continually, not recommended.
Right.
But, I sort of grew a thick skin and just did it.
But it's also like you had to really focus. You had to become disciplined. You had to learn a new language. You
Yep.
had to be not just like, oh, I want to sing. You had
No.
to, you
Yeah,
had to
no.
study it and get really serious. And
Yeah, scales, arpeggios. Yeah, like drilling. Yeah, a lot of drilling.
just like you are in your writing, you're precise.
Yeah.
And language is precise. And
Yeah, it is about precision, because that's the thing about music. It's like you're either on the note or you're not, or, you're either on the, where you should be, or you're a little off. And same with writing. Yeah, the word is either the best possible word or it's not quite. Yeah, it
right,
is
you can
very-
hear the difference.
I feel I can hear the difference in writing. Like I have like a Geiger counter in my brain that just goes when it's not quite the right word. But with music, I didn't have that Geiger counter, and I've had to be developing it. Yeah, now it's getting there more and more. It doesn't come overnight. Yeah.
Do you want to read one of your singing?
It's when more. Well, there were a lot of homages, like Leslie said. A lot of homage. I started listening again, to the singers that I loved when I was a kid, and so there's a lot of 20th century singers that are being celebrated in here, and now, well, here's
The last century.
in the last century. Actually, Amy Winehouse is kind of contemporary, so I'll read what kills me about Amy Winehouse, because she's, her life was quite dramatic, and she died early and tragically. But she was a genius. I mean, she was just a powerhouse musician. And so this is what kills me about Amy Winehouse. What kills me about Amy Winehouse is to see her when she was just starting out, fresh-faced, goofy, a little shy, but her phrasing from the start, impeccable. And that voice, black cauldron full of inky fire. Even later, when she was drunk all the time, falling down, slurring her words drunk, she was still always on key, still keeping the beat so perfectly. She could stretch it, spin it, take it for a ride. She could swerve the limo of that song across 4 lanes of traffic, screeching, tumble out the door, ripped stockings, bloody knees, beehive, and the music never stopped moving through her like a heartbeat, like the only thing keeping her alive. Her lyrics were sly and funny and mean. What kind of fuckery is this? A question many of us ask ourselves on a regular basis. Her genius as big as the lure of the abyss, where she was drowning in plain sight, pushing all life rafts aside. I've got nothing to brag about. I sang along to No, No, No like all the others and rubbernecked while she performed her inevitable demise. How many never-to-be-written songs were buried with her that day? How thick the air now with their orphan cries. Yeah. So there were so many. Yes.
I'd hope that at some point, if you wouldn't mind, you'd read Holding Vigil.
Oh, I would love to read that. Tell me the number of the page. 49, thank you. 29, thank you. Yeah, this was a poem I wrote a year ago, pretty much, around the election, the 2024 election. I was one of those cockeyed optimists that was reassuring all my anxious friends. Oh, I know that Kamala's going to win. Oh, I know, don't come to me for your political predictions, because I was really sure. And my cousin was texting me because she was really anxious, as everybody who understood things was anxious. So this is called Holding Vigil. I wrote it 3 days before the 2024 election. My cousin asks if I can describe this moment, the heaviness of it, like sitting outside the operating room while someone you love is in surgery and you're on those awful plastic chairs eating flaming Doritos from the vending machine, which is the only thing that seems appealing to you dinner-wise, waiting for the moment when the doctor will come out in her scrubs and face mask, which she'll pull down to tell you whether your beloved will live or not. That's how it feels as the hours tick by and everyone I care about is texting me with the same cold lump of dread in their throat, asking if I'm okay, telling me how scared they are. I suppose in that way this is a moment of unity, the fact that we are all waiting in the same hospital corridor for the same patient who is on life support, and we're asking each other, will he wake up? Will she be herself? And we're taking turns holding vigil, as families do, and bringing each other coffee from the cafeteria. And some of us think she's going to make it, while others are already planning what they'll wear to the funeral, which is also what happens at times like these. And I tell my cousin, I don't think I can describe this moment. Heavier than plutonium, but on the other hand, in the grand scheme of things, I mean the whole sweep of human history, a soap bubble, because empires are always rising and falling, and whole civilizations die. They do. They get wiped out. This happens all the time. It's just a shock when it happens to your civilization, your country, when it's someone from your family on the respirator. And I don't ask her how she's sleeping or what she thinks about when she wakes at 3 a.m, because she's got 2 daughters. And that's the thing. It's not just us older people. Forget about us. We had our day and we burned right through it. Gasoline, fast food, cheap clothing. But right now, I'm talking about the babies, and not just the human ones, but also the turtles and owls and white tigers, the redwoods, the ozone layer, the icebergs, for the love of God. Every single blessed being on the face of this earth is holding its breath in this moment. And if you're asking, can I describe that, cousin? Then I've got to say no. No one could describe it. We all just have to live through it, holding each other's hands. Thanks for Thank you. Thanks for asking for that. Yeah, feel free to ask for anything that you want.
I'm curious about, you've been writing so many more political poems, and
Right.
do they come about in a different way? Does it feel differently when you're writing just like this is something where you want to get into the politics versus a moment or something more personal? Where does it come from? How does it feel for you when you're creating that?
I mean, it has to be personal for me. I can't, other people might be able to write about the big picture without including their own life in it. But for me, the way I get to anything is through the personal. So I'm writing more political poems right now because that's in my personal life. That's what I'm talking to my friends about and my family about, and what I'm thinking about and what I'm feeling. That's what's up right now. In a way that I've always cared about politics or cared about what's going on in the world. Even like you said, when I was young, I was working with Haitian refugees and for a long time in that community. But it's never, it's never been like it is now. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's as inextricably linked as it feels now. And it's so loud now.
It's
right?
so loud, and it does feel like it's me, it's my family. It's the things I care about most. It's my heart, that's what's, and my heart is heavy, like I think a lot of ours is. And I'm partly writing to cheer myself up a little bit, and I hope that it provides solace for other people as well. That, that makes me happy when people say that it does.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I feel like I have a job now, and it's to uplift and comfort and inspire the resistance, as a poet. That's like, that's who I'm
Yeah,
writing
like
for.
how do you do that without falling down the rabbit hole of depression and, negative thinking? I mean, I know I have a lot of friends, my partner included, who's like, she has to keep the news very far away.
Yeah.
And I understand,
Yeah.
it's such an interplay to be in it, to look at it, to come up with a response that allows you to stay buoyant.
It's a balance. Like, we're all doing that dance, right? We're all like, yeah, I need to be active, and then I need to go practice singing.
Right.
Or take a walk with a
It's kind
friend.
of a muscle, isn't it? Like developing a muscle that we have to develop now.
Yeah, I think as women, we're not that great at compartmentalizing, and I know I'm not that great at it, but it is sort of like, because it feels like it permeates everything, and I feel like everything is connected all the time, which is great for the poetry, but also there's something good about being able to say, not now.
Right. Let us turn this off now.
Now we're going to walk away from the whatever. Yeah. Stop doom scrolling. Yeah.
Right.
Because we have to, this is a long range, this is a marathon, we have to kind of conserve energy for the long run with it and conserve our sanity. It's no good to anybody if we burn ourselves out and become crazy and bitter and,
We have to keep laughing.
Yeah.
And you do that in a lot of your poems. I'm thinking of the Barbie poem.
Oh, yeah. I remember I took a walk with you.
You laughed just saying it, just thinking about it.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I remember I took a walk with
Yeah.
you, and I was describing the Barbie poem to you, and you were
Yeah.
like, I don't know if that's such a great idea.
And I was like, I don't like Barbies.
I know. She doesn't like Barbie.
But then I like Alison's Barbie poem.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, you weren't a big fan at first, but
Yeah.
that's okay.
I wanted them when I was 8. And then I
wanted them, and
then I
never
judged them.
Yes, of course.
Right. So
Of
your
course you
poem,
did.
though, makes fun of all of that, which I
It
love.
does. Yeah, so I wrote this even before I saw the Barbie movie. I was going to go see it, and I was really excited about it. More excited than my friend over here. This is called Barbie Manifesto. I'm going to see the Barbie movie tonight because I had a feminist mother who didn't buy us Barbies. And when I said I wanted to be a nurse, she said, why don't you be a doctor? But I really did want to be a nurse because of the perky hats they got to wear, bobby pinned to their sleek, shiny hair. And I'm going to wear pink to the Barbie movie, hot pink, the color of cheap candy, like the chalky sugar cigarettes we pretended to smoke with their fake red tips. And I'm going to squeal like a cheerleader on ecstasy. I'm going to be silly and girly and super excited and all the things you were never supposed to be, because doing anything like a girl, running or throwing or thinking or writing or talking, is the worst insult. An icky, sticky, oozing, bleeding, shrill, smelly, girly girl. It means you're not smart or cool. You cry when they throw footballs at your chest, which my boyfriend did in high school because he wanted to help me toughen up. It means you'll be laughed at and dismissed. So I've acted serious and intelligent and tough for about 1,000 years just to prove them all wrong. But now I'm begging to be dismissed. Please, dismiss me, so I can lounge by the pool in a bright pink bikini while some Ken brings me drinks with the little umbrellas. Because I'm tired of proving my point. I don't remember what my point is anyway, or the point of this whole thing in the first place. Men, women, who cares? I just want to hide under the bed with my best friend and a flashlight, constructing secret worlds we can live in forever. I want to grow old on planet Girl, painting each of my stubby fingernails a different color of neon. I have pretended I sprang full-grown from the forehead of my father, bristling with armor. I have worn olive drab and camouflaged the delight I once took in smearing myself with Vaseline and admiring my new little breast buds in the midnight mirror. I have done all the right things. I have feigned interest in what bored me. I have feigned politeness. I have pretended that my inner organs are not all glistening pink. My heart and my liver and my lungs, pink as your own tongue, or the pads of your feet, or your palms. I think it's a thing that happens in menopause, where you just are like, yeah, I'm done. I'm really
I'm done.
I'm done trying to, trying to be pleasing.
Yeah, get some respect. I'm sick of that.
Yeah, I don't even need to.
Sick
I
of
don't
trying
care.
to
If you don't respect me, that's your problem.
I give up on
I
that.
don't care.
I love that poem. I don't know if we
Yeah.
want, if
Any
does anybody have any questions or any?
or requests, anything
yeah.
you want to say is great.
I'm interested to know how you selected the 20th century singers that you pay homage to in this book.
It was kind of random, honestly. I think it started. Oh, thank you, sweetie. I had written a poem for Buffy St. Marie in one of my previous books, and then I think Odetta. She was somebody who was so. As I was studying singing, I would imitate one and then another and then another. And I was hearing more and more in what they were doing. I always loved them just because they were beautiful. But then now when I listen to a really good singer, I'm like, oh, she's opening up her throat in the back, or she's putting it in, I understand more about what she's doing. And I had to feel a personal connection, and I had to find a personal way in. It became challenging the more of them I did, because the first ones were just like, oh my God, she can sing on key and I can't. Isn't that amazing? And then it was like, well, you can't beat that drum forever. You need to find some other angles on it. But I found that the singers that I listened to when I was young, like a teenager, young 20s, who had sort of been accompanied me through those developmental milestones, were the ones that were the most potent for me to write about. Even though there's plenty of great singers that I listen to now who are, contemporary. Yeah, great question.
I love that one. I forget her last name. Pardon me, but Julia
Eisenberg.
Yeah, Julia Eisenberg. Yeah, because she kind of, she's body, brazen, in your face, power.
Yeah.
Feels her power.
Yeah.
I think all the diva poems, all the songwriters, they're powerful, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
They own their lives and their voice and their energy, and they've had to fight for it.
Right. I had to fight for my own singing voice, and then I thought, women raising their voices. I mean, in Orthodox Judaism, women aren't even supposed to sing in front of men because it's like too tempting, or it'll distract them from their prayers or whatever. So, a woman raising her voice up is still, for me, a very political thing. Even if she's there to entertain and she's wearing a slinky gown, people are paying attention to her, and she's, a lot of them. Julia Eisenberg is a great example. She's somebody I wish more people knew about. She died just a few years ago of an autoimmune disorder, but and she was only 50. She was another genius.
And a Bay Area person.
Bay Area woman. She lived in Berkeley, and she performed all around here with a band called Charming Hostess. She was an ethnomusicologist. She was a scholar. She was a great performer. And she was this big woman. She wasn't petite. She would wear these kind of outrageous things, and she was just kind of out there.
Kind of, not vaudeville, but what's that other... like a dance performer. I mean, she was really a performer.
Yeah, she was a really great performer, and I encourage anybody to go look for her on YouTube, because you can find some great stuff. Yeah, I'll read that one, because she's a little obscure compared to some of the other singers who people might know more, but like she should be known more. So this is called Julia Eisenberg, Disturb the Air, and she was very in your face with everything. I was 30 before I saw a woman rabbi or heard a woman cantor chanting from the bima. By then, I'd left my religion behind, pissed that it was always the men sitting in front, men talking, explaining, in charge of everything. Orthodox Jews believe a woman's voice raised in song is so bewitching it will tempt the spiritual aspirant away from God down jasmine-scented paths of lust. We were never Orthodox, but I noticed how the women I knew were careful not to be too big, too loud, because no one likes a bossy yenta, much less an assertive shrew. And I was too tall anyway, outspoken, ungainly, know-it-all. So I tried to control what I could. Rounded my shoulders, slumped my height, pitched my voice deliberately, pleasantly low. Enter Julia Eisenberg, whose album notes list sex sounds as an instrument, right next to percussion and guitar, whose brazen, bosomy, bodacious yodels ran the gamut from screech owl to oracle, avenging angel to silken chanteuse, and light up every nerve in my heart, who disturbed the air with a joyful noise. So yes, the black-hatted rabbis were right. This kind of power can upend a world. It can part the seas and raise the dead. I was never sure of God or goddess, whatever you call it, but I do believe in Julia, who filled the air with her unleashed yips and moans that make me feel like I am right inside the place where it all comes from, the place we return to in the end. Yeah, go listen to her.
Nice.
Yeah, thank
Nice.
you. Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's kind of the journey. There's a lot of feminism in the book too.
Warning.
Morning.
Shocking.
Highly feminist.
Right.
Super feminist. Yeah, thank you all for coming. And we're happy to sit up here and chat or answer any questions or talk about anything you want. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you so much
Yeah,
for coming. Yeah.
Great.
It's great. Yeah. Thank you,
And
honey.
Buy
Yeah.
her wonderful book. It's
Bye. Yeah, Hanukkah's right around the corner.